David, and on behalf of the organizing team, I want to welcome you all to EA Connect 2025. I am so excited to have you all here. This event is the fruit of many months of effort, and there's a really cool surprise that's coming up next. We might be the biggest event in EA history. The biggest event before this one was EA Global London, which was almost 1,600 people. We have over 4,000 registrations at this event. We will not know until the last day of the conference if we actually were the biggest one in attendance, but we can confidently say that we are the biggest projected one in history, and that we had the most registrations as well, because we had over 4,000 registrations. And this just shows a lot of people are interested in EA. And this just makes me very excited that there's so many people looking to do the best they can with their resources. So yeah, I'm very happy that you're here. I'm very happy that you made it. I'm very happy that you were able to carve out some time from your weekend, your precious time to be able to come to this conference and learn more about these ideas. If you're watching this video, it is likely that you are a newcomer. A lot of the people who've come to our conferences before, I expect not to be on this stream. But if you're a newcomer, I want to welcome you to EA as well. This might be your first approach to EA. So you're more than welcome, and I'm very excited for the weekend that's ahead. First and foremost, this talk is going to be a logistical one. I will tell you about what the event is going to be about, what we're going to do at the event, how to interact with the platforms, but I will not go into a deep dive about what effective altruism is or how to get the most out of the conference. I will tell you a couple tips and tricks about how to get the most out of the conference, but I think you should attend both these sessions, which will be way better than mine at doing their intended thing. So today, in a couple hours, so at 2 p.m., Charlotte will be giving a talk on how to get the most out of EA Connect, and she'll be sharing some tips on things you should be doing to be able to reach out to more people, maybe send some cold messages, how to get a better response rate, how to develop a message that is more compelling or that says what you need help with better. And then tomorrow, Julia, who's been a long-time member of the effective altruism community, will give you an introduction to effective altruism. So if you are a newcomer to EA, I really, really recommend that you attend both of these sessions. The schedule for this conference, as you hopefully already know, is 3 days. Today, starting at noon and ending at 9 p.m. Then tomorrow we'll be starting at 9:30 a.m. and ending at 2:30 a.m. of the next day. And then on Sunday, we will be opening at 9 a.m. and then closing the whole conference at 7 p.m. These times are all in UTC, and you can check them on the Swapcard, so there's no need for you to take a screenshot of this slide, for example. We've done our best to try to accommodate several time zones, ideally so you can join a session, at least one session, if you're anywhere in the world on any one of the days. But if you missed a session for a couple hours because you might have been sleeping, they will all be kept on the Swapcard, and so you can come back to them at any point when you wish. For this event, we've done something very particular, which our other events have not done before. We've chosen to have two paths to try to give you the best possible experience based on your current EA experience. If you're on the foundation path, this means you've never attended an EA Global or an EAGX before, and you'll be able to have meetings with mentors. I'll tell you more about this in the next slide. If you're on the collaboration path, this means you have previously attended an EA Global or an EAGX. You'll also learn more details about this on the next slide. But this is very important. Please try to figure out on which path you are, because this is the way that you will interact with the conference in the best way possible. So again, if you're on the foundation path, this means that you've not been to an EAG or an EAGX before. If you're on the collaboration path, this means you've been accepted to or have attended an EA Global or an EAGX. Okay, now on to the actual interacting with our platforms and the conference. If you're an attendee at this event, just either foundation or collaboration, you can access all of our sessions, you can access all of our meetups as well, and you can connect with any attendee on the Swapcard and message any attendee on the Swapcard as well. If you are on the foundation path, again, never attended an EA Global or an EAGX, then you can request one-on-one meetings with mentors. Mentors are people who we've designed to be able to help you get your next steps and perhaps point you in the right direction, help you find the right resources for somebody who's never been to an EA event before or a CEA event before. If you're on the collaboration path, you can book meetings with any of the attendees, but you will not have access to mentor meetings. You might still be able to book a meeting with a mentor, but you won't be able to access the mentoring, basically. So you can have meetings with mentors still, but they won't be quote unquote mentors for you. They will just be a regular attendee and you can have one-on-ones back and forth. On the session types that we'll have at the conference. So we have decided to have the following session types. We will have talks, which is self-explanatory, right? And fireside chats. Fireside chats are moderated Q&As where the moderator comes prepared with a bunch of questions and they allow the speaker to be in a more relaxed and in an exploratory setting rather than in a rigid Q&A format. Some of our speakers will have office hours as well. These will happen after their sessions. In some cases, the speaker decided to not have office hours, in which case we will not have them. But if your speaker or if the speaker has decided to have office hours, these will, in most cases, happen right after their session. And you can join these office hours and maybe ask some pressing questions that you have, or just engage in further discussion about something that they talked about in their talk. We also have speed friendings and meetups. I am particularly fond of these because I think they are very low effort ways of meeting a lot of people very quickly. These will have prompts that will help you engage in discussion with other people. So if you're worried about it feeling a bit awkward or something along those lines, we've tried to make it so it doesn't become this way. So you'll join a session about a specific thing that you care about, let's say a cause area like animal welfare. You will join the session, a host will be there, they will tell you kind of the rules of the thing. And then you'll start being assigned to either small groups or one-on-ones, and you'll get a prompt on your screen, and you can chat about this and meet a bunch of people this way, which is quite fantastic. And then finally, another one that I'm very excited about is the organization fair, where we will have over 20, maybe even close to 30 EA organizations showing what they do, what their open opportunities are, what the jobs they're offering currently are. And I think, if you're a newcomer or if you're a returning CEA event person, attendee, you should be going to the organization fair to see if your skills can be used for any of these EA orgs and if you'd be interested in working for any of them. And worst case scenario, you just learn a bunch about what other cause areas exist in the EA ecosystem. Now, onto the conference platforms. We will be using two main conference platforms. We tried to simplify this as much as possible. Swapcard will be your main hub for the conference. So if you don't know where you're going, please just come to the Swapcard. We will have all the event details in there, in the agenda. And Swapcard is also the way where you can book meetings with your mentors, or if you're on the collaboration path, book meetings with other attendees. You'll also have access to all the talks and all the fireside chats via the Swapcard, and same with the meetups and the speed friendings. And you will also be able to see any session recordings if you were unfortunately unable to go to one of the meetings or one of the talks live. Then on the gather round, you won't have to go into the gather round directly. You will go into the gather round through Swapcard. But for the types of sessions that require a gather round, such as meetups, speed friendings, office hours, and the org fair, you'll be prompted by Swapcard by a little link and a little button that says join in gather round or join the session, And then just know that this is quite normal for us to hop out of Swapcard and go into Gather Round. And yeah, this will help us for like bigger meetings, or meetings where there's not only just one speaker, but maybe multiple speakers, or where you need to have a more interactive session. Now, important policies that I want to mention. So one of them is the platform use one. I will just read these out loud, and I will please ask everyone to follow these rules as they help us ensure that the event is productive and welcoming for everyone. So first, this platform is meant for professional networking only. Please don't sell any unrelated products or services or DM people about this. I also implore you to please have no romantic pursuits at this conference, and also no mass messages or spam. I think this is very important to keep the platform respectful and safe for everyone. We also have a media policy. You mostly care about this if you're a journalist, let's say, at the conference. And I want people to feel safe having meetings with other people. So by default, all conversations, meetups, and talks are off the record. So just know that if you're talking with someone, this is by default off the record. If you are, let's say, a journalist and want to write something about this conference, you might get permission for this, but you must ask for it first by emailing us at media@centerforeffectivealtruism.org. Now on to the discussion norms. I think this conference will be invaluable to a couple of people, hopefully to many people. And I think these discussion norms will help shape how the conference feels and the impact that comes after the conference. So first and foremost, just be kind and be respectful, and approach the discussions with a collaborative spirit. Assume that people have good faith and that we are all here to learn. Then be honest. Also another one that seems quite straightforward, but don't try to mislead or manipulate. And when in doubt, just communicate your uncertainty. People in EA are very welcome to hear where you're uncertain about things and why. People actually value this a lot, and it might help you communicate better. And also be willing to change your mind. This is a weekend where you might encounter a lot of ideas that you're not used to. And so if you're at this event, I think the best way to make the most out of it is to come with an open mind and be willing to change. Then staying on topic is an important one. I think you should not spam. This event is for discussions about how to improve the world, and it is not an event about promoting your services or your products. So please don't derail the conversation in irrelevant directions. Again, this will just help us be centered and focus on what we believe is most important. And finally, disagreements are very expected, and they are a very important tool in improving the world. Improving the world is a complex problem, and disagreements is how we converge on the truth, and is part of a very healthy communication when done respectfully, and this is important. You should try to approach any disagreements that you have with curiosity, and try to figure out why the other person thinks what they think, and why what they think is different from what you think. Having said all of this, if a disagreement is getting heated, you might find it a good idea to disengage. And you have no obligation to be in a disagreement or in a discussion that you don't want to be involved in. For getting help, if you have any technical issues or any questions, please reach out to either the moderators or the tech support, respectively. If you think something should be moderated, let's say somebody is spamming a certain channel, please raise in the moderator channel. Just say what the problem is, and a moderator will be with you as soon as possible. If you, for example, have trouble logging into your Swapcard account or logging in to Gather Round, or your internet connection is not working for some reason, or your camera doesn't want to turn on Swapcard, etc., you can reach out to our tech support, and we will do the best that we can to help you as quickly as possible. We will also have an attendee guide and an FAQ document linked on the main page of the Swapcard. So I please also ask of you to check the FAQ first, see if your question is answered, and then come to the moderators or the tech support, because in many cases, the FAQ will contain the question that you have, or the attendee guide might help you, for example, respond what path you are in, instead of having to ask directly to a moderator or somebody on tech support. You can also email us at hello@eaconnect.org. It's the same people behind the email as the people who's running the conference, so I might be behind the email as well. If you want a fast answer, I propose you do not write an email, but rather just message us directly through the moderator or tech support channels. But if you write an email, you might get an answer in, let's say, 24 hours instead of maybe 1 hour if you message us on our other channels. If you have any personal or interpersonal concerns, you can contact Community Health as well by clicking on the Community Health desk, or by messaging Charlotte or Catherine directly on the Swapcard. If you need general support, or if you just had an uncomfortable interaction, or maybe you're just feeling overwhelmed, you should have a really low bar for reaching to them. Both of them are super nice and they're very helpful. Please make sure that you reach out to both of them when you reach out to at least one of them. If you do it via the desk, this will be done automatically. If you do it via DMs, you'll have to create a group with both of them and then reach out. This is because they're both in different time zones. And if you tag both of them in, they're going to be more, it's going to be more likely that they will be able to provide you a quick answer. I would also like to remind any attendees at the conference that obviously harassment, bullying, or any unwanted romantic attention is unacceptable, and it will not be tolerated at this event. If you have witnessed or experienced interactions of this nature, I please ask you to report it. And you may, again, do so by reaching out to Charlotte and Catherine, or by going to the Community Health help desk, or by scanning this QR code. You can take a picture of this QR code now if you need to, but you can also find the anonymous form on the attendee guide on the Swapcard, and then reach out to Community Health this way. Some final reminders so you are ensuring that you can make the most out of this conference. First, I think you should complete your Swapcard profile. I've seen a bunch of profiles that have no picture or no bio. And for a professional conference, I think you should be showing who you are. People love engaging with faces, and faces are very friendly, and faces are very welcoming. So yeah, I think the best you can do is add a picture, and then also add a bio. Tell people who you are, why you're here, what you can do to help others, how you can get help from others. People are very willing to help if you can communicate clearly what you need and how they can help you. So help people help you, and vice versa. So I think first step to doing this is completing your Swapcard profile. Then secondly, start booking your meetings. In the ideal world, you all would have had meetings booked already. But if you haven't, then start booking your meetings now. If you're on the foundation program, we have around 120 mentors willing to have meetings with you. But I think you should try to book these meetings as soon as possible, because we cannot ensure that you will have a meeting or that all the slots won't be filled if you don't do these bookings early. Mentors might have busy schedules, or they might be already fully booked. So if you are on the foundation path, I suggest you go and find yourself one of the people on the mentor list who you most resonate with and who you think might help you the most, and book a meeting immediately. And if you're in the collaboration path, you might already know this, but one-on-ones are very useful, and I think you should start booking them from now on and planning your weekend ahead. Then, thirdly, you should start reviewing and bookmarking your sessions. This will, give us a clearer view of how many people are attending each session, so we post-event will know how many people went to each session and what we should repeat and what we should have more of for next events. But it will also make sure that these things are in your calendar and you don't miss them. If you have a session that you really want to attend, I think you should actually go ahead and check the Swapcard and bookmark it and put it on your agenda. And finally, you can check the job board or the opportunities board. A lot of organizations might be hiring during this time, or a lot of organizations might be setting up some expressions of interest that you might want to fill in so you know when they are hiring. So yeah, attend the organization fair, and also use the opportunities board, see what opportunities there are. Maybe some of them seem easy and straightforward and could be your next step into kickstarting your EA journey. Finally, I just want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and taking time off your weekend. Weekends are precious and your time is precious. And it speaks really highly of you that you're committing a whole weekend to doing the most good or to learning about how to do the most good. So I think this is a moment where you should feel proud of yourself and just know that everyone here is very welcoming and very happy to help. So please have the best weekend possible, make the most out of it. And I want to thank you again for committing to doing good effectively. Now I will pass it on to Kieran, who will answer some of your questions in the chat. So you can ask these questions in the Swapcard tab at the bottom at the right, and Kieran will be answering these questions.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, David, for your opening remarks, and welcome everyone to EA Connect. I'm really happy having you all here. I'm Kieran. I'm the Deputy Team Lead for EA Connect, and I'll be answering your questions. I've seen some questions you've already asked on the chat, but if you have more questions, please, this is the moment to do so in the questions side on Swapcard. So the first question we have is if there's any tips for asking good questions to mentors as someone that's never had a mentor or networked with the purpose to flesh out self-development and career path. So for this, my first recommendation is attending our next talk with Charlotte, who will be speaking of how to get the most out of EA Connect. She'll mention a lot of tips here on how to take the most of mentor meetings and one-on-ones. So please do attend this session if you want to focus on how to take the most out of one-on-ones and mentor meetings. My personal recommendation here is going into mentors page. You can see all their bio there, and you can prepare your own questions. So after seeing your bio, you can prepare some questions. So you arrive to the meeting with some questions prepared for them. And also try to have all the time one goal for each one of the meetings. But again, I recommend attending our next talk in about 35 minutes. Then we have a question on if the recordings will be if there will be recording and if this will be available on YouTube. So most of the talks, but not all the talks, most of the talks will be recorded and then will be uploaded to Effective Altruism YouTube channel. You can access this after the talk and they will be there after the conference as well. So most of the talks will be recorded, but there are some workshops that won't be recorded. You can see this in each of the sessions. If there's any specific session you would like to have recorded, please mention it during the chat and I can answer it specifically. Then we have a question about how do I check which path I'm currently on. Regarding this question, you can check this while on Swapcard. If you go to book a meeting, if you are if you can see the mentor channel, the mentor tab on the top of your Slack, that means that you can book meetings with mentors. But if in the other way, if you have the collaboration path attendees tab available on your Swapcard, that means that you can book one-on-one with other attendees on the conference. Can we stay connected with others beyond the event on Swapcard? Yeah, you can. So the good thing on Swapcard is that you can stay connected and keep chatting with people after the event. But I recommend asking for people LinkedIn so you can speak with them on their via LinkedIn after the conference. So this is a really good tip for when you are having a one-on-one. You can finish your one-on-one asking for the person's LinkedIn, and you can connect with them after the conference via LinkedIn or email if you prefer. I was talking to someone who said I could book a call with them, through their profile, but the option didn't show up. Why might this be? So if you go to, if you are in the collaboration path, you can go to a person's profile and book a direct one-on-one meeting with them. If you are in the other path, you can enter the Mentors tab, and there you'll be able to send a meeting request to each one of the mentors. Are organizations fair on a drop-in, drop-off basis, or is it recommended that we attend the full session? How are they structured? Great question. So the organization fair, which will be from 4:30 p.m. UTC to 6 p.m. UTC, will be on Swapcard if you go to the tab that says Organization Fair, and this will be available at this time period. My recommendation here is that you can drop in and drop out whenever you want to each one of the organization's virtual booths. So each booth will take you to a gather round link where representatives of each one of the organizations will be there answering all your questions. So you can enter each one of the booths, ask the questions you want, and then leave and go to another organization via Swapcard. Will we receive a certificate of participation after the event? We don't have certificates of participation after the event, so you won't be receiving this, but you can mention you were present at EA Connect and tag Effective Altruism in your LinkedIn if you want. Any tips for newly joined EAs? So for newly joined EAs, I really recommend attending Charlotte's session, which is straight after this. This session is in about 30 minutes now, and she'll be giving a lot of tips of how to get the most out of EA Connect. So my first recommendation is to do that. And as David said during his talk, book a lot of meetings with mentors if you can. Also try and attend some meetups in areas that are interesting to you, so you can get to know other attendees attending the conference. And finally, also there's great speakers on our conference, so I really motivate you to attend the different talks in your areas of interest. Then we have Vin, who's asking, the option to book a call isn't showing up on their profile. Does this mean we don't have any mutual availability? If Then I have to see, and I'll see after this call, your particular situation. But probably if you go to the Mentors tab, you'll be able to book meetings with mentors. So if you go to the Mentors tab, you'll see a list of people who you can book meetings with. These people have their schedule on, so you can choose the time that works best for you, and you can book a 15-minute meeting with them, and they'll confirm if they are able to do that spot work. If this doesn't work, please reach out to our contact desk and get help in the tab that says Get Help, where we'll have moderators answering your questions throughout the conference. I'm not seeing other questions in the chat right now, but if you have any other questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat, and I'll wait for a couple of minutes before we end this session. Perfect. So we have now a question from Alexandra asking if you need to first contact a mentor, showing up. Sorry, it moved for me. Yeah, you need to first contact a mentor, and if they reply, you can book a meeting with them. Yeah, so how it works is like you reach out to a mentor, selecting one time slot that works for you. If that time slot also works for the mentor, they'll reply to you accepting your meeting request, and then you'll have the give me just 1 second. I'm getting a call in the side. Sorry about that. Yeah. So if you request a meeting to a mentor, he'll receive a notification, and if this time works for him, he'll accept the meeting, and the meeting will get booked, and it will appear in the tab that says My Schedule on Swapcard. If this mentor isn't available, he can reject your meeting request so you can book with another mentor, or also he can suggest a different time that may work for you, and that way you can accept that new time, and that meeting will be scheduled in your Swapcard schedule. For entering to these meetings, when the correct time is, you can enter in by pressing the meeting that appears in your schedule, and then a live camera will appear where you will be able to see the mentor and have your conversation for those 15 minutes. Where should I set my calendar for meetings? So Swapcard has an integration with Google Calendar. You can, if you go to your profile and you enter your settings, you can add that integration so these meetings appear on your Google Calendar if you prefer. If not, you can enter your calendar via Swapcard if you enter My Schedule, and you'll see all the talks you have registered, all the meetups, and all your one-on-ones. And and uh, and yeah. Yes, and your mentor meetings. So when you enter there, you'll be able to also filter each one of the sessions if you want to see all your talks or if you want to see all your mentor meetings. In your left side corner, you have this option for the filtering. And also, you can go always back to the agenda where you'll have all what's happening at that time on the event. How, as a mentor, should I look for foundation people that have more personal fit for me? So if you're a mentor, you can also book one-on-one with everyone on the conference. So you can enter the attendees and filter the attendees through like what cost areas they prefer. And that way you can look for attendees that match your interest and have similar personal fit for you, have a good personal fit for you. So I recommend entering the attendees part of the conference and looking for attendees via that tab. Then we have a question about if we have any tips to get the most out of one-on-one meetings once the request is accepted. Again, my best recommendation here is scheduling a call with, not scheduling a call, sorry, attending Charlotte talk in about 25 minutes now. She'll go over how to get the most out of EA Connect. So she'll give a lot of tips in how to get the most out of one-on-one meetings. My personal recommendation is going through your mentor's profile, seeing his bio, maybe if he has his LinkedIn linked to his profile, you can enter his LinkedIn as well, and you can see a little bit of what he's done. And that way you can plan some questions for him beforehand. So when you enter the meeting, you already know what things you want to ask him, and also what's your objective for that specific meeting. And you can take the most out of those 15 minutes. Why all the questions asked by others are not displayed in my tab? Maybe I think if you refresh, you'll get all the questions. Also, if not, you can go to full screen and probably you'll get the interaction going. If you are still having problems, please go to the Get Help tab and ask our moderators that can help you better with that after this talk. Yeah, thank you, Dana. We have a message from Dana that is recommending people to go to EA Attendee Guide. I really suggest going there as well. So thank you, Dana, for your recommendation. If you have any questions, most of your questions, you will be able to find them on the Attendee Guide. You can find on the tab that says Attendee Guide. And if you have any other questions, you can access the Frequently Asked Questions tab, where most of them are responded. And if you still have any questions that are unanswered, please go to the Get Help desk, and there will be moderators answering your questions. Perfect. I think that's all the questions I've gotten so far. I'll still wait for a couple of minutes. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Again, welcome all to EA Connect. I'm really happy to have you all here. I hope you can take the most out of this weekend's conference. And if, again, you have any questions, we have a volunteer team of moderators on the Get Help desk, which will be answering your questions throughout the weekend. Thank you again to all volunteers for being able to help us out answering the attendees' questions as well. Hey, Robert. Yeah, thank you for your question. I'll repeat this, no problem. Again, I really recommend everyone attending the organizations fair. The organizations fair will have over 30 organizations who are working in cost-effective areas, and you can speak with their representatives. So how this works is you can enter the organizations fair through the organizations fair tab or via your agenda. When you enter this organizations fair tab, you'll see all the organizations listed and divided by cost area. You can enter each one of the organizations separately. So when you you click on one of the organization's logo, this will redirect you to Gather Round, where there will be one or two representatives of each organization answering your questions. To enter to Gather Round, it will ask you to enter your email, so that way we can check you are from the conference. When you enter your email and create your account, you will be able to enter the organization's booth. After asking the questions you need to ask, or hearing what the organization's the organization's answers to other questions, you can drop out whenever you want, and you can go back to the organization's fair tab to enter a different organization. So this will run from 4:30 to 6 p.m. UTC, and you can drop in and drop out whenever you want from each of the organization booths. So feel free to enter as many organization booth as you want, and this will be via Gather Round, so only a heads up that this will all the time it will be redirecting you to each organization's booth on Gather Round. Will there be another EA Connect virtual event? So this is a question I can't answer yet. We've been having EAGX virtual from years before, but we are still planning to have this event in a yearly basis, but there's no still confirmation for next year. Still, there are other conferences, but which are in person. So this conference are EAGXS and EAG. I really recommend you to apply if you are interested after this weekend in this different course areas, or if you're interested in effective altruism. You can get to this conference if you go to effectivealtruism.org and then enter the upcoming conference tab, and you'll be seeing all Center for Effective Altruism organized conference coming up next year. I'll wait for a couple more minutes. If anyone has another question, I'm really happy to answer it. If not, you can use this time to schedule the different talks you want to attend to. Also, you can book one-on-ones with mentors through the mentor page. And also you can start looking on the organizations that will be attending our org fair later today, so you can attend the fair later. I'm not seeing more questions in the chat, so I hope I have answered all your questions. If you have any more questions or if there's any questions that come up during the conference, please feel free to go to our help desk and ask the questions to our moderators. They will be really happy to answer all your questions. Again, I'm really happy to have you all here. It's great having you all at EA Connect. I hope you can take the most out of this conference. We are really looking forward for you to be attending all the or many talks, meetups, and having one-on-one with mentors and attendees, so you can take the most out of this conference. I really want to, I really appreciate the work volunteers are doing today. So thank you very much to all volunteers that make this conference possible. They will be throughout the conference answering all your questions and helping you with the Q&A with speakers and hosting meetups. So really grateful for all of you. And again, really recommend attending the next session from Charlotte about how to take them, do them, how to the name, sorry, the specific name, how to get the most out of EA Connect, where you'll get tips on how to make the most out of one-on-ones and mentor meetings and many other tips that Charlotte can give you. So if you're a first timer, I really motivate you to attend this talk. And finally, if you have any problems during the weekend, as David said, please feel free to flag it up to us and we will handle them. So yeah, welcome to eConnect, and I hope you can have an amazing weekend. I will be seeing you throughout the weekend. Bye.